Peace. This is the Enemy's Public, and I am Bro.Nasir. Today, I want to talk about a man who is very iconic, a giant among men. Many people have certain things to say about this brother. I disagree with some of his tactics, yet I still revere this brother who would be an elder of mine if he wasn't murdered. I speak of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man of peace, a man who loved people sometimes to a fault. When I say to a fault, Dr. King loved people who didn't love him. Now, I was reading some of his speeches. The speech that I wanted to take from is the speech, "I've been to the mountaintop." Not the part where he say that I've looked and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. That is beautiful because it's talking about us handling business, taking care of business, and seeing ourselves moving forward into the promised land, not sky, land. The part I want to speak about is the redistributing the pain. Most people, when they do videos on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the first thing they go to is what our enemies put before us. I have a dream. They want us to dream. And this dream is something that they put before us that they don't even believe in themselves. The enemies of God and the enemies of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will have us celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King on Monday, the 17th, and yet his birthday is January 15th. He was born January 15th, 1929. Yet they'll move his birthday every single year and say, okay, we're celebrating his birthday this day. Now, Dr. King proved to us that you can love a people to a fault and they'll still murder you. And to those who are born today, born in the 90s, born in the 2000s, born in the 70s, 80s, and whatever year you were born, to the young people and the ignorant among us who would use negative words against Dr. King, like calling him boule, calling him a sellout, calling him a Mason. I just want to speak this to you. When Dr. King went to Memphis, it wasn't his first time going to Memphis. Dr. King knew that he was in imminent danger when he went to Memphis. And especially when he went back to Memphis and stood on a balcony. I ask, how many of you Negroes who knew that you were in imminent danger would have stood on the balcony, knowing that there was a threat on your life the first time you went? You have to be a brave man to go into imminent danger. Punks don't do that. Dr. King went to several events, several marches that he knew he was in imminent danger, to the point that he was stabbed in his chest. He had dogs sicked on him, bricks thrown at him. All kinds of things was done to Dr. King that could have resulted in his life ending before the age of 39. Yet Dr. King, knowing that he could be in imminent danger, went anyway because of the love that he had for not only our people, but other people. I disagree with being nonviolent to those who are violent with us. I disagree with loving someone who don't love you. I disagree with that. I don't agree with loving those who don't love you. I totally disagree with that. Yet, I think Dr. King is a giant among men for his contribution to the liberation and salvation of our people. He did his part in what he thought was right. Dr. King. I agreed with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, and I still to this day agree with the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's who I agree with. Yet I will not stand here, or sit here rather, and disrespect anyone who contribute to our salvation, though I disagree with him or her. Now, Dr. King, he wanted us to not boycott certain organizations or certain products. He wanted us to stop using them outright. He wanted us to boycott. He wanted us to stop using Wonder Bread, I believe it was Pepsi or Coca-Cola, and different products who didn't have our best interests at heart. He wanted us to redistribute the pain that they was giving us. Because if we're not respected by certain people, and we know that we're using their product, we're making these people rich people, all we have to do is stop using their products. Whether it's Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, or what have you. We can just stop using their merchandise. And that was a good strategy of Dr. King's. Very good strategy that we should be doing today. When I heard that Timberland don't like black people, I stopped buying Timberland. Even a black man's name is on Jordan, I stopped buying Jordans. Because even if it's a black man or woman, if they don't have our best interests at heart, I'll stop using their products. See, everything I'm wearing now is me. From the hat to the shirt, all the way to the watch. That's me. Okay? Even the phone case. That's me. That's what we need to start doing. And we need to start supporting each other. And when we make merchandise, let's not sell our merchandise so high that our people can afford to buy black. We need to make our stuff affordable so our people won't have no choice to buy black. Blacks that's with us, not somebody who's just black and is not of our best interest. That's what Dr. King is talking about when he talks about redistributing the pain. Because what hurt our enemy is when we back off and stop using their products and their merchandise. When we stop giving them business, it hurts them. And it will hurt them if we stop giving them business and stop using their merchandise. Redistributing the pain. Redistributing the pain. We need to make it so painful, even when it comes to defunding the police and organizations and merchandise and corporations that support police. If we find that a corporation supports a police department that have gangs in it, like LAPD, like NYPD, if we find that there's corporations that support them, we stop using their products. It will cause pain to them. Anyone or corporation, any product that we use, any clothes that we wear, if we find that they are supporting corrupt police departments, or if we find that they don't like us, why would we put money in their pockets to empower them? All we're doing is empowering them when we use and purchase their merchandise. Now, again, most people, they always narrow when they mention some of our iconic brothers and sisters. They always narrow it down to a slogan, a cliche. I have a dream. That's Dr. Martin Luther King. And Malcolm X, they narrow him down to by all means necessary. They narrow them two down to that. When Dr. Martin Luther King said more than he had a dream, Malcolm X said more than by all means necessary. Malcolm X also said that if someone put their hands on you, to put them in a cemetery. He said that also. And Dr. King said violence is sometimes necessary when you run out of intelligent argument. He spoke against violence, Dr. King did. He spoke out against the Vietnam War. Okay? And that's what really put him in danger. When he spoke out against an unjust war that was causing the lives of thousands of young men to be murdered in an unjust war. Dr. King spoke out against it. And that's what really made him dangerous, and that's what really made them want to kill him. Because when Dr. King was speaking about integrating a school, integrating a lunch counter, a bathroom, or a water fountain, that's nothing. But when he started getting to the United States international affairs and interfering with their big money, that's when they wanted to murder him. And that's when they ultimately murdered Dr. King. Yet Dr. King was a giant among men. And we must know that. And to all those who say he's boule and he's a sellout, can you imagine some of these young people who would go to do great things? I don't doubt that some of these young people who are critical of those who have come before them and did what they thought was good, it did good for their time. Can you imagine doing all you can do with what you have, with the resource that you have? And later on, some young person come up and say that you haven't done shit. Can you imagine that? You've done so much with the resources that you had, with the knowledge that you had. And some young person who don't understand, who think they have all the answers. And the reason that they talk so much is because that's all they're going to do. Come up and say that Dr. Martin Luther King was boule, he wasn't nothing. Marcus Garvey wasn't nothing. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was nothing. Noble Drew Ali was nothing. Okay, Sojourner Truth was nothing. Harriet Tubman, she was nobody. Ivan Van Sertima was nobody. Frederick Douglass was nobody. We have young people today who don't understand, who get a little bit of knowledge and make the determination that all those who came before them that actually fought for the rights that they have today will stand up and say that these brothers and sisters did nothing for us. Can you imagine if you're doing what you set out to do and you accomplish it, and 20 years from now somebody said, you ain't shit? After all you've done, all the sacrifices you made, somebody come up, somebody ungrateful as hell, come up and say, you ain't shit? When you fought for the right for them to actually say that you ain't shit. Just imagine that. Yet Dr. King is a giant among men. I'm going to say it one more time. I disagreed with some of his tactics, yet I admire his organizational skills and I admire his bravery. This is the enemy's public. I am Brother Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.